know her. She's a freak.
Hi and welcome to the SohoLIFF Spotlight. I'm Liz Farahadi and I'm very excited today because I have got cast and crew from the fabulous film Dog Days. Now, I'm going to get you to both introduce yourselves and explain what your role is in the film, please.
Hi Liz, thank you so much for having us. I'm Carlotta Beck Peccoz, I'm the director for Dog Days.
Hi, I'm Addison Aston and I play Adele, the protagonist in Dog Days.
And what a fabulous film Dog Days is as well.
Thank
so,
you.
just for anybody watching, could you just explain, without any spoilers, what it's about?
Is the afternoon at the swimming pool of a young girl having to face peer pressure and the start of teenager years.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's your role in it?
So I play Adele, and she's been basically left at the pool by her older brother for the day, and she is basically just trying to navigate like friendship groups, just teenagers in general, because that can be a lot.
Yes.
And like just being confident in herself. So that's sort of what she's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, because this is a very, very important story, isn't it? I mean, it's like, nowadays, without sounding like the old in the old days, but we've got social media now.
Yeah.
And the pressures to look a certain way and, the body image and stuff like that is, it's worse ever than it ever has been.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's a lot of just like comparison between people about how you look and how other people look and how you should look. So I feel like it is, even though like everyone talks about it and everyone's like you shouldn't compare yourself, I feel like it still is very much an issue.
That is what that's definitely what I think. Like, although I'm a 90s child, and like back then, like we had like stereotypes. Like this film was written and came out from that sort of experience of the 2000s, let's say, and that. Like back then we had like a pressure and like some standards, like Paris Hilton standards of like what a body shape should look like. There was like something that today thankfully like there is a conversation about, and like we find absolutely absurd that that was a standard. But nevertheless, I think today with the social media is really like even more pervasive, like how like a comparison can affect especially young adults.
Yeah, very much.
Oh God, no, totally. I mean, casting this was quite tricky because the casting's incredible that you've done.
Thank you.
I
mean, I was really, really lucky to find my beautiful cast, and I was really, really lucky in the first place to work with Matilda James, who's like an amazing cast director, and like I knew her from previous projects, and she really helped me casting for this film. And yes, definitely it was really challenging because like obviously like you approach people with like a very sensitive subject, that is body positivity, but also like for who's gonna watch the film, there is sexuality and all of these sort of things with young actors. So obviously it was a very sensitive process, and I was really, really lucky to have Matilda with me navigating through this.
I mean, the importance of casting directors, if that's I mean, what was your brief? What did you go to her with?
I haven't casted for many other things before, so I really went to her just with the script. And I think somehow I find with this film and with the script before that, like especially women, I just give the script and they get it. I think it's such a somehow like really universal experience that we kind of all have growing up. So I just sent her the script, and she really got it. Like, you know, I had to add very little, and then we had a conversation, and then obviously she really helped me in navigating the thing. And like, I'm so like I couldn't believe when I saw Addison's.
Perfect.
It's just bloody perfect. Like, I got this. I think you made a little.
I made
video.
a little short film.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I saw what you've done before, and I was like, oh my god, like, she's just like. I mean, look at her eyes.
I know.
It's just, and especially because like casting for Adele was, apart from all of these challenges that we've been talking about, like body positive, like the thematical challenges of the film, but then like what I think is the beauty of one of the beauty of the character is that she doesn't speak.
Yeah.
Like throughout the film, like she doesn't deliver even one line. There is, I think, really challenging, and like when I saw you, and like, because like really is
it's told through like the eyes and stuff.
So through the eyes, through the interaction, to the response, and that is, and Addison was just like the perfect person.
Oh, you did such an incredible job.
Thank you.
How did you prepare for this?
I mean, it was just like pretty much one of like my first like big main roles in something. And obviously I didn't have any lines, so I didn't have to learn any.
Yeah, but it's not
really,
lines that make an actor.
Yeah. So I think so that was like a sort of pressure off me, because even though I was a main role, I didn't really have to like sit down and learn that. But I did. I went through the script a lot and like looked at how Adele would react to everything, and sort of went back to like my own experiences with dealing with people like that, and like how I reacted with it, and just sort of just tried stuff out and see what worked, and then just sort of went for it on the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's talk about the casting of the boy, the love.
Yes.
Because I mean, that was an interesting bit of casting, because he was quite skinny, he was really, he had this confidence. And I mean, did you do that purposefully, that you were playing with that as well, where I put words in your mouth there.
No, well, I think I mean, like, as I say, like, mostly it was luck, I'm gonna be honest, to find everyone so perfect. And like I think the whole group, like, just basically like the casting, I think Kaylin and James, like, we got them like straight away, because like they actually, I mean, I'm still so surprised how like you can have a CV at such a young age.
I know, their CV is insane.
Yeah, they've done like a lot of things before.
Wow, that's, I mean, yeah, because there's so much kind of so and all together, and it's beautifully cast. It's brilliant. I mean, the role models in film and TV are so important. I mean, how do you feel it is at the moment, and what do you want to do about it? I'm like that for both of you.
Well, as I say, I think nowadays we do have finally like some role models in TV and media and films, some role models that are actually embodying change and new values, thankfully. But there are still some big problems that still are to be addressed. I mean, I'm very like about body positivity and stuff. I think like huge like improvement has happened since I was that age. But then at the same time, like, this is one of the things that I was very very careful while casting, is that I find that like there is a misrepresentation of young age. Like, if you see Sex Education is an amazing TV show, and it's great, and it's very educational, and I'm like not this, like, I love it. At the same time, those kids are not kids, they are 20 plus years old adults. And I think that like growing up, and when you are 14 and you look at a movie where there is a 14-year-old and that 14-year-old is played by a 21-year-old, or more or less, but especially at that age when every year you change so dramatically. I mean, look at her. If you look at watch the film, you don't
it's been like a year and a half. That's it.
It is really important that like I understand that it's very difficult for so many reasons, but I think that is a real problem in representing the age. So that for me was also very important, like making sure that the kids were kids despite being talking about like important issues and maybe a bit delicate issues.
It's such a valid point that you've made there, because it is that the ages, for women, it seems to be not represented at the right ages all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean, like you have 50-year-old men with the mothers being played by a 52-year-old woman.
100%.
Or you can't show an older woman, or and with the younger, and it gives a false impression of what you're supposed to look like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what's your feelings on all of this?
I feel like, it is sort of the thing of like, you go to watch a show that is very much aimed at you and like my age group, because I'm like 15, so like a lot of the shows are sort of aimed at me, and like you start watching it and the character's like, I'm 15, and then you look at them and you're like, you're at least 20. Like it's that sort of thing of no one is ever like I get the casting part of it, and like you want to cast someone that's older, but like it is the sort of thing of like no one really looks like how old they are, and so everyone's sort of like basing themselves off a character that is basically played by like an adult to get their idea of what they need to do in life. So I think that is sort of an issue, but I do think there is a lot more representation of strong female characters and characters like that. So
shooting in a swimming pool?
Yes.
Because this is your first film. We haven't mentioned this either, have we? I mean, like, talk about taking on, like, the biggest, most difficult thing to
chucking a camera underwater.
Yeah. I mean, the cinematography in this is just incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a little... how do you say when you give...
Like a shout out?
I'm gonna give here a little shout out to Tim and Ivan Wood, the DOPs of the film, because like it doesn't look like, but it was a very gloomy and rainy day in October in Heathrow.
Yeah, it was at an airport.
That's at Heathrow?
That is Heathrow. It's this beautiful hotel that is just off Heathrow. Obviously not the best place for sound, but trust me, when you're trying to
literally every 5 seconds there was a plane.
Thankfully there is not so much dialogue, because otherwise we would have been a bit screwed, if I can say this. Oops. Anyway, but yeah, no, apart from the sound, like they did an incredible job. We shot on 16mm, and we were super lucky that Panavision sponsored us, and then Cinelab and Kodak, of course, and I think like we had a moment of panic with our lovely supporters at Panavision, because somehow the information that the camera was gonna go underwater, like a 16mm camera was going underwater, got a little lost. And like there was like this moment of panic on the phone with Matt, where I go like, oh, can we have like this piece of cable for the underwater cage? And he's like, the underwater what? And I'm like, well,
like the whole point of the film, the underwater bit.
And it was quite a tense prep day at Panavision, where like, bless them, and I understand, like if I didn't understood that about the film, I probably might not have given like a full package camera to a short film. Anyway, it went great. The camera was safe. We didn't have to claim anything on the insurance. But yeah, so like really Tim and Ivan did an incredible job, and they really pushed the boundaries of what we could have done with like a very great day in Heathrow with like a 16mm camera underwater. So yeah, kudos to them.
And how important are film festivals to you?
they are they are so important.
Yeah.
They are really, really important. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's such a blessing to be in film festival, because like you really get first to share and like get feedback on your work, and you know, it's not just a feedback, like, you know, work feedback is really like sharing like the passion and that you put into making this little piece of art, hopefully, and you know, like you really start the conversation. And I think they are like really like the places that inspiration happens. Is like wherever there are other creators, that's where, you know, you get to speak and you get to see, you get to experience other people's point of view. And I think they are really, really like super important.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it looks fabulous. It really does. And kudos to you for first film making something so, you know, so courageous and pulling it off. It's like, and such an important story. And kudos to you for doing such a fabulous performance.
Thank you so much.
Oh, so you have to watch this. It's called Dog Days. It will be at the festival in January 2025, and you don't want to miss this. It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you.
Thank you.